And we are live for the fifth day in a row. Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to day 5 of the 20-day life challenge on a Better Way platform with Chetan Narang. This is a it's slightly different challenge than what you might have seen on the internet before. If you are coming here for the first time, I am taking up this 20-day live challenge where I'll be coming on live on YouTube and then syndicating this video to all the other platforms, talking about the most powerful thing going on in my mind. I challenge myself to be in front of a camera and comfortably speak for 20 days in a row. And the challenge for my community is to help me find a better way to harness the power of our community. So the ultimate challenge is to ensure that this channel, which sits at close to 7.5K subscribers as of now, reaches close to 10K subscribers by the end of these 20 days. So that's the challenge we're working on. And now that we've talked about it, today is a good day. I mean, it's Good Friday, so it's a day off from work. That's definitely a good thing about this Friday, right? And I don't know if you guys appreciate it, but my fellow community members who are working a day job will definitely appreciate it, right? The best Fridays are the ones that come on Thursdays. The best Mondays are the ones that come on Tuesdays. Everyone knows that. Anyhow, so today morning, in fact, when I woke up and I was thinking about not having to work today, work the day job, I was thinking about something which it always keeps coming back to me. This is a story from I think close to a decade ago. I was working in a company that was then a startup and is now a big company. It was a food delivery company. I won't take the name. So I was a very young boy. It was a decade ago. I had almost just started my career. So I would work days and nights. I would work very hard. And there was this one particular night where it was, I think, five or six of us, and it was late in the night. We were still in office. We were working our ass off and working on some project that was urgently supposed to be delivered. So I remember there was one senior guy who was sitting very close to me, and he was discussing something else with a product manager guy. Of course, they were hardworking people. They were there at, I don't know, 10 or 11 in the night. And the discussion that was happening was the senior guy was asking the PM, dude, how can we have more people spend time on our app? How can we have our users spend more time on this food delivery app that we're working on? And I don't remember the entire conversation that they had, but I distinctly remember this conversation, and it has always stayed with me because I remember going back home that night and just thinking about what a ridiculous conversation to have. It's a food delivery app. Why would you want your users to spend more time on a food delivery app? I mean, I know why you would want that as a product manager, as the owner of this app. I know why you would want people to spend more time on your app. But as a human being, don't you see the irony in it? Don't you see the fact that if you design an app such as this, you would have to counter your own invention too, because you wouldn't want as a human being to spend more time on a food delivery app than what you really need to. And forget about yourself, your best friends, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, your family members, your kids for that matter. Everyone will have to now be insulated against this machine that would want them, that would be triggering them somehow, gamifying the app somehow, so that you end up spending more time on the app. And it's been a decade since then, and I've had a lot of corporate ups and downs and loads of different kinds of experiences. But something that has always stayed with me is the fact that I have been, quite honestly, very disenfranchised from the entire corporate project, the entire work that goes on in most companies these days. And it's almost as if I feel that a lot of that work is meaningless. I should not say all of that work, and I'm careful in not saying that because I know there are a few companies, at least a few companies, at least a few people who are actually doing great work, and it's commendable. But the majority of people that I know, the majority of companies that I see working on something right now are not really working on something meaningful, are not really working on something that will be, what should I say, life changing. A lot of people are working on life changing things, but do we really need those life changing things anymore? I remember one of these stand up comedians in India, Biswa Kalyanrath. He said in one of his stand up routines that I think we peaked at video calls. We didn't need any more technology after video calls. And even in video calls, we are only just looking at ourselves, just maximizing our own picture and just seeing if our hair is actually looking good. That's true, that's true at some level. It's true. Crazy enough as it sounds, our comedians in this day and age actually hold a mirror to what is true about a society. And what Biswa is saying there is not entirely false. A lot of things that we have built in the name of advancement in technology are not really advancements in technology, they are advancements in the business of technology. It's not really that we need more and more of those things, but we keep working on them, we keep employing people who work on them. And it's the great corporate grift. It's the great corporate um, meaningless grift that has continued on for so long now. And it's not as if the technological advancement that I'm talking about, that it hasn't led to any benefits for human beings. Of course it has. I would be a fool to say that a lot of these technologies have not led to a better life for us. I mean, come on. I am going live on YouTube right now and talking about all of this from the comfort of my home. It's the power of technology. So I appreciate that. I genuinely do. But look at the shadow side as well. Look at the shadow side of what social media has done to us. I mean, the promise was that social media will connect us. But you look at people staring into their screens even while having their lunches together in a group of four sitting on a table together, and everyone is just staring on their phone and scrolling through reels. Are people really connected? People are not even connected to people around them, let alone being connected to the people that they are looking at online. And not to even mention some things about Facebook and Instagram that people no longer even talk about. I mean, it's the fact that I have no business knowing so much detail about a person who's living so far away from me and is just showing me the best parts of their life. No one is uploading pictures of how their kid pooped their pants today. No one is uploading picture of how their dog vomited on their plate, right? I mean, I'm sorry for these disturbing images, but I hope you get the gist. Everyone is only uploading the best parts of their lives online. And if that doesn't lead to anxiety, are you not a human being? It is supposed to make you anxious. It's designed to make you anxious. It's designed to give you that sudden hit of, oh my god, my life is so messed up, this person is living such a good life. And that makes you do things that you don't really want to do. And that's just one part of social media, right? I don't want to get into all of that, but what I really wanted to say was, a lot of times, I feel that a great corporate reset is coming, because the intensity with which I feel these feelings, the intensity with which I see how, let me put it this way, the the biggest avenue where the human soul is being depreciated right now, the human soul is being almost sucked out right now, is corporates, is the work environments we are in. And not to say anything specific about specific companies, it's just the way we are right now. It's just the way we are. If anyone who's listening to this right now works a day job, can you hold your hand to your heart and tell me that you are excited about going to work every single day? I think honestly, I don't know anyone who says that very honestly. I mean, if you are some of the lucky few, good for you, good for you. Hold on to that job. But I know almost everyone around me is just sick and tired of putting up a show in their meetings, putting up a show in and around the work, pretending as if it is a very urgent deliverable, as if it is the most important thing to do. And all of that for what? All of that for what? It is the human soul that is being absolutely taken away from us. One more story comes to my mind. I should tell you this. Um, Close to a year ago, my dad passed away, and it was, of course, a very, very emotional time for me, a very upheavaling time for me and my family. And of course, my co-workers in my office were amazing at that time. A lot of them even visited me at home. They were around me when everything had to be done, and they were really supportive. They were extremely supportive. When I started going back to work, though, everything was almost as if it's back to normal. Now, almost, of course, for everyone else, work was just the way it was, but I could not just go back in. There's something in you that changes in such moments. There's something in you that just changes, and you can't get that back, just like that, just instantly. So I remember when I started going back to work, it was still hard for me to focus on work. It was still hard for me to do almost anything there, with my heart. And I remember this one particular meeting where a guy was rude to me in a meeting, and he was rude to me about some particular work. He was trying to put pressure on me on this not being delivered, etc. And I'm not someone who usually takes pressure off work, but that got to me at that time. I'm glad, I'm proud of myself that I was sensible enough to not shout back in the meeting. But then I took him into another call the next day, as in we met in the office, um, physically the next day, not virtually. I took him into a meeting room and I just told him, I was very vulnerable. I was almost crying. And I told him that, dude, this is a very tough time for me. And I know you have been through this as well. You know what this feels like. Not exactly, but you can relate to what it would feel like. So I won't tell you what to do, but the only thing I would really ask from you is to be human with me. I'm going through a very tough time, and I don't think I can ask anything else of you than just being human with me. That's it. Just know that you should be treating me as you would want someone to treat your daughter when you are not here anymore. You know, and I think that struck a chord with him. It did resonate, and etc. But why I'm telling you this is, this kind of a conversation, this kind of a need of being human, is something that we need in our corporate spaces right now, because I don't see this happening. I don't see this happening around me. Almost everyone is too busy being a machine, too busy pretending as if everything that they're working on is extremely urgent and has to be done, even if it's 10 p.m. in the night, even if it's a weekend, etc., etc. And we never even take a step back and realize that the thing we are working on is really a meaningless part of a meaningless machine that is demanding a reset now. And the discomfort that you feel when you go into work, the discomfort that you feel when you sit in those meaningless meetings, or prepare those meaningless presentations or excel sheets, etc., that discomfort is something that you should sit with, because it is calling you out to actually improve something, not fix the entire corporate world. Let that be a job for someone else perhaps, but fix the holes around you. Be more home, be more human. Try to fix the holes around you. That's one of the messages that I would leave you with. I think a great corporate reset is coming. It's something that we really really need right now, because otherwise what is losing out is the human soul. It is the human soul. And to this effect, some Rocco Jaman actually shared a very powerful article with me today morning on Substack. It was perfectly worded as to what is happening in, not just in companies, but almost across the globe, in social media, on the internet, around all the different games that people are playing. It was very powerfully worded. And he was actually making a point, the author was actually making a point. I will link the article down below. Make sure you check it out, because if it's a non-working day for you too, 30 more minutes spent on the internet in on that post will actually be worth your time. Now, the point he was trying to make eventually was that we are all playing games, and we're playing games that we don't really want to be playing. And that's a point that I've been making for 2 3 days now on these lives, that we are, the way I put it is, we are uninitiated towards whatever it is we are doing. And this applies to so many avenues of our lives, relationships, parenting, um, friendships, work, purpose, meaning, so many avenues of our lives, politics, religion, etc., where we just land uninitiated. And we are playing such complex games right now in our lives, the social media game, the all of the agitation game that is being played all over the place. It's only leading to more and more purposelessness, more and more meaninglessness, more and more grift from human beings. And all because of the fact that we are all uninitiated. And why do I say that? Because if I'm able to think such things, if I'm able to think that we need a reset, we need more soul in our workplaces, in our relationships, in our politics, in our religions, etc., I know I'm not the only one feeling that. There are so many other people. There would definitely be so many other human beings feeling the need for this. And that's the reason for a Better Way project, honestly, to get to sort of raise a flag online that this is a place where you can be sane, this is a place where we want to work towards making more sanity out of the human project. Now, when there are so many more people thinking like that, you can also almost realize that if only we had an initiatory process to initiate people towards thinking like such things, towards also acting out on these thoughts, that's probably step number one that we need. Imagine a place where even kids are initiated like this. We will actually end up solving all of these different symptoms of uninitiation that we see: the corporate grift, the political grift, the religious grift, etc. Now, that is a problem to solve. That is a meaningful thing to spend your nights working on. But who's working on that? No one, right? I don't know if anyone is working on that. I'm sure a lot of people are motivated enough to do this. I know I am motivated enough to do this. And this is why I'm starting this A Better Way project with Rocco. So there are multiple facets towards a better way. One of them is definitely this: to initiate people towards a better way, to initiate people towards understanding how, even though projects that you're working on are for advancement of technology, they can have a shadow side. And if you're aware of the shadow side of your own psyche, you can make better calls so as to not implement certain things, so as to not go ahead and productionize features that make people spend more time on a food delivery app. I hope I made my point in that sense. I think that's pretty much it. I have a vague feeling that I had something else to say as well, but I can't quite recollect that now. I don't know what it was. So that's it. I think I'll pause the live stream now. This was being shot live on YouTube. This will then be syndicated to all the social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram is where I'm syndicating this right now. If you are not a part of A Better Way YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, because there are better things coming out. And I will link the article that I was talking about down below in the description. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you share this channel with your friends and family, because authentic word of mouth is probably the only way meaningful content such as this can reach the audience it's intended for. That's it, you good people of the internet. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, peace out.